Thomas Walsh from New Zealand, Joe Kovacs from the USA, and Stipe Zunic from Croatia. We have any questions for our medalists tonight? Do you have the, yeah.
This is directed to all three of you guys. Can you just tell us in your own words how the competition went? What were key keys for you, Thomas, for Joe, and for Steve?
Look, well, for me, it went very well, but I guess there's a lot of controversy out there with a few protests and things going on. So there's definitely a lot of heart in the competition, not only from these three guys, but the rest of it. And yeah, it was a pretty fun comp to be in. No one really probably threw what they thought they needed to throw to win it, but that's the good thing about the sport is that whatever it takes on the night is it doesn't have to be something massive, just whatever it takes.
No, I definitely agree with Tom. I think all of us go through the outside track, warming up, and trying to prepare what we do outside and trying to transfer that inside. And I think, as he said, I think all of us kind of thought it was going to take a little bit more to win, but congrats on Tom for putting together. He's had a great string of meets, and I'm excited to see him up on top of that podium. And, I was probably that guy who he's talking about with the protest at the end. But I respect all the officials. I respect good officials for calling a good foul. I saw the video. I'm still a little biased thinking that I don't think it was a foul, but at the same time, it's better to have an official watching the board like that than not. Because, we're at the highest point of our sport right here, and you want it to be called right, and you don't want any questions about that. So I thank them for that. Sorry probably for yelling at a few officials at the end of the meet there, but hats off to Tom. And, going from the outside track, I heard some of the sprinters say it a few times, and I agree with, I think we can all talk about it. The air gets thicker as you get in the stadium. It's a little bit harder to do what you're doing outside once you get inside. But that's why we come here, to put on a show, and hats off to Tom for putting it together out there.
Well, I definitely agree with Joe. He's very respectful, and that's how all of us feel. As of me, I came here as a 13th by the result, and I just wanted to give my best, and I gave my best at the right moment, and I think there was a lot of pressure that affected some of the competitors. So in the end, for me, it was really good, and all of the hard work that we all put in showed, and in such a high quality competition with these giants. And as for my first World Championships, it's just been an amazing experience and very uplifting atmosphere. So all I can say is it's a phenomenal experience.
Yes, gentleman in the second row here.
Thank you. I want to ask Thomas, from track and field camps, I have seen a video that you're doing some construction work. So is it real life? And how do you balance your working and training? And when would you to break the record?
Yeah, I still work maybe 3 days a week when I'm at home, off and on kind of thing. I'm not home that much, so that's the catch. So I work for a building company back home, and he's pretty flexible, allows me to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Actually, at the moment, they're building my house for me as I'm away. So hopefully I'll get home in enough time to hit in a few nails and say I built it. In terms of the world record, I think that's what you're asking. I think it's going to go. It's got to go between us three and the other guys who aren't here. There's enough ability around, and I guess over the last few years there's been, it sounds a bit rude, but the old generation go, and I think with the youth coming up, maybe it's a little bit misplaced, but also I think we all believe we can do it. I know Joe does. I'm sure. Well, this guy's definitely strong enough to do it. That's for sure. So I think it's going to go for sure. Whether it's in the next month, because one man has a lot to prove that's not sitting up here, and I'm sure he'll be thinking that. It's definitely it's got to go. It's got to go.
Very back.
Tom, I take it that you've heard that the protest was thrown out. Just what's your emotions after all of that when the whole gold medal was on hold?
Yeah, it was I can't remember who it was, but one of the media people on the TV kind of brought that up to me, saying that the protest hadn't been finalised yet, and I hadn't even thought about that. So it was almost the feeling of someone had died. Like, I've just done a victory lap and I've come second. Yeah. Yep. Should I look like a dick, don't I? Yeah, it's good to finally know that. Well, for my sake, it's good. For Joe, not so much. So yeah, it's pretty special actually. Dale told me in the drug testing room, so it was quite nice to hear that as I was getting drug tested.
Question at the very back.
Tom, I understand that you're carrying a bit of an injury and you kept that one quiet. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
On Friday, last throwing session, I tweaked my groin a little bit. So over the last kind of 3 days, I guess, I've been in the physio room more often than not. But I thought, even though I tweaked it, I thought, we've done this much hard work. I've been away from home this long. Even if I've stuffed it, I'm going to give it a go in the qualifying round. And the second warm-up throw really hurt it. And I was like, geez, I mightn't be that good or in that good a nick anymore. But then the qualifying round, the first throw, I nailed it, and it didn't have any pain, which was great. And it was actually quite sore today, but that's fine. We're going to see how it is over the next kind of 2 weeks, and we'll go from there.
Question in the second row here.
Stipe, you were a javelin thrower not too long ago and had to make that conversion in fall of 2013. Can you just talk about how difficult that process has been, and I guess what that means with this being kind of the culmination of that work?
Well, that's the interesting story about me that everybody wants to hear. I was javelin thrower. I was only like 1.5 meters short of making Olympics 2012 in javelin, and I've been doing javelin for 9 years, and I always threw a little bit of disc and shot just to practice, but not really professionally, until 2012 when I hurt my shoulder and had a whole reconstruction of my shoulder, huge surgery. Shortly afterwards, I had an elbow surgery, and it went pretty bad. So after that, I really got really bad pneumonia. So by the year 2013, I was almost done with sports. But then just to rehab my shoulder, I took a shot and started throwing a little bit back and forth. At that time, my PR was 17 meters. And as I always had a tendency to go big, I always had to diet for a javelin throw. I was about like 100-kilo javelin thrower with like 7% of body fat. I always had to diet for a javelin throw. So as soon as I started eating, I just got super strong, I guess, and my body went from like 100 to 130 kilos in 2 years, and started throw shot, and then in 6 months I ended up throwing 17 meters to 2060, and that was huge for me. And then the progress just continued, and today I had also a huge fall, and it just keeps continuing. So within the next couple of years, we can expect to have me as joining these 22+ meter guys.
For Joe, in Beijing, Rio, and London, we've awarded 9 medals, and you've won 3 of them. And 6 men have won medals during that time, and you're the only one to have medaled all 3 times with a gold, silver, and silver. To what do you attribute your remarkable consistency during this time of historically deep competition in the shot put?
Well, thanks for those stats. I didn't know that. But I attribute everything to my coach in the back, Art Venegas. Truly, I got out of college. I just needed the direction and the support, and he's been that for me as a coach, a father figure, a friend. Sometimes a mean one when I needed it, and sometimes a nice one when I needed it. So I attribute that all to him, because without him, I wouldn't be doing the sport. Without him, I wouldn't have the success. And without him, I probably wouldn't enjoy what I'm doing. So I thank him for all that, because it's a true honor to come out here, represent the country, and you don't want to do anything half-assed. And that's not his mentality. That's not my mentality. You know, we're always shooting for gold, but at the same time, we're always shooting to you know, pride ourselves with the best performance we can do. And I thank him from the bottom of my heart for being my coach, being my mentor, and working me with every day, especially through the bad practices, because sometimes I have more of them than the good ones. And that's what a good coach is. He gets you through the bad ones.
There's a question at the very back there.
Hey, Tom, I know rugby's rules in on New Zealand and won the America's Cup a little while ago. But with you and Valerie doing this, are they going to have lots of little Kiwis throwing the shot put now all over the islands, or how's it going to work?
Well, it didn't have as me winning bronze last year didn't have the same impact as Eliza winning bronze in the pole vault in New Zealand, put it that way. There's a lot of pole vaulters now, but look, I think people have realised in New Zealand that if you're a big guy, you don't have to play rugby. You can also throw shot. So hopefully me and Jacko both have opened the door for the rest of the Kiwis to come along, and we've got especially two young guys at the moment who are coming up through the age groups who hopefully in time will be exactly where we're sitting here, and that's I guess what hopefully I can give back to the country is to help with these young kids coming through and offer my support and any knowledge I have to them. I feel it.
Question at the very back there, please.
Tom, this is the first World Championships or Games where coaches also receive medals. You called Dale a hippie before, so perhaps you could say something nice about him.
That is nice about no.
And just also especially with the injury that you've had and him being pretty straight.
Yeah, look, Dale, he puts up with a lot of my shit. It's plain and simple. I can remember a training session, it was a few years ago now, where I was in a pretty dark spot and he got me out of it. And it's been a lot of times, just like Joe said with art, that sometimes they're there to support you and sometimes they're there to tell you to smarten up. And Dale puts in so much time with my trainings and programming, and there's also a full team behind Dale as well who do a number of things. And things like he even got the old massage cream out the other night and started helping me with my groin issue, so that was an experience. But
Coach Art Venegas would not do that for me.
So look, he'll do anything to try and help.
That's probably enough on that answer. Are there any final questions? One here, please.
For all three of you, one of the things that's most entertaining about the shot put is when you guys are really into it, and in the last 2 or 3 throws, you react to each other. Joe, I've seen you do it. Thomas, you love to do it. And Steve, I haven't seen you compete enough, but my guess is that you can respond on the last couple throws. How do you guys do that? Is that something you prepare for in workouts? Is it a purely emotional thing? Is it the energy between all you guys?
You guys are all looking at me. Well, I mean, if it was all just technique and form, maybe all of us wouldn't be up here. If it was all size and strength, maybe we wouldn't be here. But it's passion. As soon as you put the ball in the net and you chalk up, you turn into a different person, and it's that person you train for all the time. If you're not putting it out there with everything you got, with all the passion, with all the yelling, with all the screaming, you're not in the sport for the right reason. It's the best feeling in the world. Sometimes you get let down from it, but sometimes you get on the podium with it too. And it's the best feeling, and I'm happy to be doing the sport I love because I can use that passion to enjoy every day.
Oh, well, as of me, I trained before the kickboxing and boxing. Had 75 matches, was world junior champion in kickboxing, so I had a lot of adrenaline going through my growing up in sports. So when you step in a ring, if somebody wants to knock you out, it's a different kind of adrenaline. So when I come to this event, I need more people, I need more adrenaline because I use it really good. and as I showed tonight, and it's all the big plus for me. As Joe said, it's not about size, not about strength. It's about being psychologically and mentally prepared, and obviously physically. So everything needs to fit in. You just need to be, a complete guy to do your best, and just be pumped up and turned on. You just need to have a good day, wake up, and believe in yourself. There's no limits.
Thomas?
I just think we're all competitors, and we dream of doing it, winning something on the last throw and overtaking someone. So I think I think you don't have another shot, so you're going to give it your all, no matter what, no matter if you fall out the front of the circle or you stuff it up completely. You're going to give it your all, and so that's why I think everyone tends to pull out some really good throws on the last attempts. I know I train a lot. I've got a young training partner who's 18, and we always have 2 or 3 throw competitions to end training, and we always put something on the line with them as well. So that's something that Dale's brought in to really, I guess, focus more and really get a little bit of comp kind of focus towards training, and I think that's helped me hugely.